like a lot of men in my family suffered from this. They have been taught to stay silent and not speak up for what's right. Or even if they know the answer, they were taught to be too humble and to have someone else say the answer, and then that person gets the credit.
Going into this next year, I don't want you to, let out too much, but what is one goal that you want to carry with you going into this next year? And that could be like for mentality, that could be for personal development. But what is one thing, if you have something that you plan to work on going into this next year?
One thing that I would like to plan for the next year.
And it could be something that you're maybe not as good at now, but you want to get better at.
I would say, like strengthen my affirmations list. Because, and I'll tell you why. I have a friend named Alexa. We've been friends for years. And she reached out to me. She was like, something told me just to give you a call. And I'm like, okay, what's up? And she said, have you written down your affirmations? And I'm like, what the heck are those? And she was like, Nate, you need to have your affirmations. Write that crap down so it can come true. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Okay. So, I wrote them down, told my friends, I'm like, hey, this is what she told me to do, whatever. Wrote them down. And all of a sudden, things started actually popping up on my affirmation list. Like, I'm like, oh, crap, that actually worked. That actually happened. I'm eating healthier. It's like, like writing those things down. And then all of a sudden, the universe just puts those into play. And I was like I'm sitting here like, wow, like I've completed 10 out of 10 affirmations, and it's not even December 31st yet, because she had me write down my affirmations and say, I'm grateful that by December 31st, or I'm so grateful that by December 31st, 2021, I will have, and then A, B, C, D, and E. And all of those things came to fruition, every single thing. So when I started, writing those, or when those started coming to fruition, I told my friend to do the same thing. I said, dude, you got to write these down. Just trust me. And the same thing happened to him. And his are all done. So I'm like, okay, cool. So my next goal coming into, 2021 or stepping into 2022 is to, think bigger, write my affirmations down, and just strengthen those, because the power of that seed planted and how quickly that plant grew, I can only imagine the tree that I'm gonna have next year.
That's a quote right there.
Yeah.
Save that. Yeah, that was beautiful. I love that. I wrote that. That's what, while you were talking, I was like, shoot, I need to do that. Shoot, affirmations, work on that. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. That's really, it's a blessing that you have a person like that in your life who thinks of you enough to want to tell you something like that, and and you listen. So good job for you as well, because some people are like, man, I ain't doing that, so that's what's up. For myself going into this next year, let's see, the main thing. So there's this lady, I'll call her an artist. Her name is Aisha Akanbi. She's based out of London. She is, I call her a philosopher. She's of Nigerian descent, but she's a fashion stylist for a lot of upcoming artists, musicians, celebrities, would you say? And there's one thing that she said is a lot of people, they're right. They don't know how to be. They want to be right instead of being honest. So that's one thing I want to learn how to be this year, is because also being perfect, you're perfect because you want to be seen as the person who's doing the right thing. And so with me being honest, it's kind of a skill set. You can still be honest and compassionate. That doesn't mean you have to be like a dick, but it's just like, how can you be transparent with people and still be, it's basically just being more authentic. I took it as. And so, with me not wanting to be right all the time, let's say if everyone is doing this and you're just doing it just because everyone else is, but in your heart, you really don't feel the need, or you're not even interested in doing it. And so I'm learning just to be more honest with people. Also, just with myself, I think many times the things that we don't want to do, we have to convince ourselves that we have to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
so just like understanding that aspect as well. And so yeah, going into 2022, I just want to work on slowly but surely, getting gaining the skill set to we'll just say like getting what I need to. Just learning how to be more honest and not
Mm-hmm.
always being right because of other people or because it's expected of me to do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, which is hard. So yeah.
Hey, it is, because I've been there too, man.
Mhm.
I've been there too.
Yeah. But yeah, man. But shoot, I'm not really sure if we want to go any deeper, but yeah, anything else from this year that you want to share or like that you've been reflecting on or like just we'll say reflecting on?
Things that so one thing that and I had a conversation about this, and like this goes deep, but I won't go too deep, okay?
Oh,
But
good.
it'll be great for the combo.
Mhm.
So I guess for the people watching, especially young African American men in the corporate world, this was one of the biggest lessons that came out positive for me. You know, growing up, people were taught that, I guess men were taught that in the corporate space, you have to look a certain way, talk a certain way, dress a certain way, do all these things, which, can sometimes be true depending on your role. But, and it's a big but, and like a lot of men in my family suffered from this. They have been taught to stay silent and not speak up for what's right. Or even if they know the answer, they were taught to be too humble and to have someone else say the answer, and then that person gets the credit and that person gets the raise. And then they get frustrated that they're not going anywhere. And I said, well, did you speak up? Did you ask for it? Did you have these conversations with your manager or anyone? Or even mental issues, like, hey, like, did you speak with someone, or are you holding it in? And that goes, both in work and in person, or in your personal life. So I've learned to, speak up and go for the ask, take the action, because you can tell anyone anything, but if they don't take action, it's useless. And my mentors, like, through, my trials and tribulations within this past year, people told me to do certain things and I actually took action on it because I had faith to do it, and it worked in my favor. And it required me to stand up and speak up. And like, there are a lot of people in the people, or I guess men and women in the corporate space or in personal in the personal life, where they don't speak up and express their feelings of themselves. And that's one thing that people have to learn. In order to take that step into your happiness, you have to be happy within and speak up and step into your truth. And a lot of people are trying to be perfect, and they hide in that perfection, and they're not hiding in their own truth. And that's the biggest lesson I've learned this year. Out of everything that I could have gone through within these past 10 years, I've I've learned it this year, and I was able to really, take that next step into who I'm supposed to be. And it started with standing up for myself, stepping into my truth, standing up for what's right, and knowing that being perfect and having all this stuff, won't get you anywhere if you don't have true self-awareness. And
Mm.
you got, like, take the ask, take the action, listen to people who actually know what they're talking about, and don't be afraid. Because hey, when I had my mentors guide me through my trials and tribulations this year, I was scared shitless. I'm like, oh my God, this isn't going to work. How can I, go against this big elephant in the room? I'm going to, lose. And they said, dude, take the risk. Just have faith, just tiny little faith. And if it doesn't work, at least you learn. But if it does, that's going to change your life. And everything did. And I'm sitting here like, oh my God, like, it's just working, So, and it just took me really, stepping into who I'm supposed to be. And after that, that changed everything for me. So that was, my biggest takeaway. And I hope that's something that, you also gained as well this year, to really step into you and who you want to be versus who people tell you who you want to be.
Mhm.
Ignore them. It's who you want to be and who makes you happy when you wake up in the morning and you see yourself every day and you fall in love with that person. That's Those are the biggest things that I've learned this year that changed my entire life.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
That was great.
man.
Great. Yeah. Isn't it just funny? Like whenever you get a chance to like kind of just offload, the things that you've been going through this year, and you're just like, where, just like, yeah, I have a lot to say. And so like, I can tell that you've been reflecting on the stuff that this year has, really, morphed you, or like, help you transcend into the person that you need to be, going forward. So it's also just, it's nice to also have someone, be validated, have someone listen to, to hear your growth, be willing to receive your growth and not be intimidated by it. I think me and you, we talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
When, you talk with certain people, and, sometimes if you're growing and they're not growing, or maybe, because of how they see themselves, they're not necessarily able to appreciate, or, just be able to, we'll just say appreciate, the journey that you're going through. So yeah, man, I'm really happy for you. I'm glad that you've made it to this point. Glad that yeah, going forward, you know what needs to be done. You have good people in your corner who are elevating you, and you're gaining a higher level of awareness of yourself. So that's what's up.
Yeah, man. And likewise for you. Hey, because we've had these conversations at the dinner table during Thanksgiving, and you and I were just talking, for 2 hours straight about anything and everything. So definitely good vibes all around.
All right, all right. Let's see. Should I share anything else? No, I think we'll just leave it there. Yeah, we don't have to go too much deeper, because I'm pretty sure we could go a lot further. But I think that was a beautiful point, a beautiful stopping point, good stopping point. But yeah. So if I guess if anyone would like to reach you, is there like so far social media, or like if someone would like to contact you, or is there a way to reach you?
Yeah, so you can find me at Nate Peoples on Facebook, or at President Peoples on Instagram, and Twitter is at the Nate Peoples, Nate Peoples. I'm also on Twitter as well, but I'm always on Instagram every day. So at President Peoples is the best way to reach me.
All right, sweet. Okay. Well, bro, this what's it called? This isn't the end of the video. I'm just doing this for the recording. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, bro, I greatly appreciate, you spending this time with us, dropping all those gems, reflecting, having like a reflective dialogue, which was really nice. And yeah, bro, we're gonna have to chat again sometime for sure.
Absolutely, man. You give me a call, I'll be there.
All right. For sure. Well, y'all, this has been a good episode. I learned a lot. It's been good to have, it feels good to kind of let out some of this, these thoughts in my brain and reflect with someone. But we're going to be back for some more. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Please comment, share with anyone who might need to hear this. And I'll see you guys in the next one.